Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back to RueTV Tonight. It's been a long time. It's been a long, I think 8 months, kind of a long time. But, I hope you guys have been hanging with us. I've got a surprise for you. I've got the biggest surprise of all time, one of the best surprises of all time. I've been trying to get this guy on the show since the late 70s. So he is here, though, in the flesh. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only actor, comedian, now podcast host, Mike Bocchetti. Mike, how you doing here today?
Thank you, Ryan. I know Wolfman Jack was giving me a hard time about coming on in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't know. Wolfman could be a pain in the ass sometimes.
Oh, he definitely was, but he had his moments.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for having me on. I love doing podcasts, and I love your work. I've seen a lot of your stuff on Twitter and online, and I like doing stuff with fun, cool people because we need more people like that in this business. Believe me.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and you've done stand up and everything, and then sometimes when it doesn't necessarily have to be stand up. I do stuff for YouTube. You do stuff. You're posting the podcast. Now, matter of fact, let's get that out the way real quick. You got you got a new show before we start talking and BSing. You got a new show that I just watched last night, and it premiered on YouTube. It did really well. I'm like, oh shit, look at all these people watching it. It is the Mike Bocchetti Show on YouTube. Tell people about it, and then also about your lovely co-host Jenny. Right?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
What do you call it? First of all, people have been asking me for a long time to do a podcast, right? And I was kind of reluctant because of a couple of reasons. It's very hit or miss. It's saturated with stuff, and it's like, I don't want to have like 7 people a week watching me on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was worried about it first. And you know what? I've been a guest on other people's shows like yours and other people for years, on and off, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, it's a lot different being a guest than being a host. It's another world.
Right. Oh yeah, much different.
It's much harder because being a host. But what got me going was I finally started to do it, and it's fun. The thing is, like we were speaking about earlier, I mean, we need like 150 of Adam Sandler's friends to be guests.
Right. I mean? Yeah, I know. I hear you. Yeah.
It's not easy to get people to come on, but
well, one thing, it is tough to get people to come on the show. One thing I noticed watching your show last night was like, I'm watching it. I'm like, okay, that's a cool first guest. Well, that's a cool second guest. A great third guest. You had like 3 or 4 guests on one show. That's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot. That's amazing. Like for the podcast world. I mean, for a Johnny Carson show, that's normal. But for a podcast, that's awesome. I mean, it was a really entertaining show. You had multiple guests on an hour show. So you booked them all. Yeah.
You know what I tried to do? I wanted to do it differently because everybody wanted to come on at once, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's going to be a mishmash. First of all, with people talking over each other.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That. Yeah, right.
And so I did it in a different way. A lot of people don't do it that way. I did it one guest at a time. It's kind of a different way of doing it, but it's the way I like it because I want to have everybody really give everybody a fair shot in an interview and having fun, because with a whole bunch on it doesn't work. People are talking. I don't want to have the same. Everybody else has like 10 people on at once. It's not a good way to be. You want to just one person at a time. It's cool because I feel more comfortable like that too, because then I'm not all over the place with them.
Yeah, and it was a unique format, and I was very surprised that the inevitable guests, and they're all separate. A lot of times, what happens is when you have too many in one time, they're like you said, they're especially on a Zoom. It's ridiculous. I mean, you get people in the studio, talking about like Jim and Sam or any kind of the old Opie and Anthony show, or even Artie's old show. You get too many people in the studio, they're talking over each other, let alone when you get people in the same Zoom call, they're talking over each other. So I like that aspect of your podcast where you separate it. So you think you're going to stick with that format, or you think
definitely because I liked it, Ryan, and it's fan friendly too, because if they don't like somebody, come back to somebody else.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I tried it out that way. I like it. It's easier. It's ever easier for my, producer to edit too, because that's the nightmare. Because, and I feel more comfortable because, like, when you have like 8 people in a room talking over each other, it kills everything.
Yeah. Now you doing the edits too for that and doing uploading it and everything?
My friend,
Oh, you got a buddy.
yeah,
Okay,
he's the
cool,
one
cool.
that's doing all that because me, I barely know how to get email. I'm not good at tech stuff.
Okay, I got you. Well, I mean, the first episode, was uploaded, I think, yesterday or the day before. I know I was watching it yesterday, but it was for a podcast that just got off the ground, you got a lot of eyeballs on it, so you're doing well,
Thank you. But it's the thing about doing a podcast by yourself and being a guest. It's like I compare it to a TV show, or movie, because okay, certain people are really good supporting actors that work in the ensemble, right? And certain people can be leads without other people. But that's what I was worried about. I'm still a little worried about it because, I'm used to working with an ensemble of people. People used to see me that way.
Yeah.
But even though I have a co-host now, it's still me driving the thing, and it's a lot different because, I'll give you a good example. Like some people, Danny DeVito's a good example, right? As an actor. Yeah. He's a really great supporting character, but he's also an outstanding lead in the movie. He can hold the film.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Like what you're doing, it's hard to hold a hosting job. It's not easy.
It's tough. It's an entire different world than co-hosting. I mean, I know you were for years co-hosting with Artie on his show, and then of course, most recently, was it last year before he pumped the brakes on the Halfway House, right?
Well, what's funny? He told me about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That I go, I wish I could host one day. He goes, no, you're more than ready to.
Artie said that. Yeah.
I go, really? He goes, man, I've been working with you for years. Your time is ripe. He goes, you just got to do it and do it. That's what he said. And it's and I'm so glad he gave me that encouragement.
Yeah, no, that's I spoke with Artie about, I think it was summer 2018 after a show in Atlantic City, and he was
nice.
He was more than gracious. This was
did you hang out with him a bit? He loves hanging with people.
Afterwards, yeah, it was in Atlantic City, and we hung out and talked for about 15-20 minutes.
Oh, did you go to the Borgata?
This was it was at Caesars, I think. It was a comedy club inside us. I think it was Caesars. Yeah, I think it was at Caesars. I'm pretty sure. But
he loves talking to people and hanging because that's the worst thing. If you're famous, like any kind of level like that, or him or whatever. Yeah. There's no reason to be an idiot. Some people are morons.
Yeah, what I think people misconstrue about Artie is if you watch the show, the old Artie and Artie Lange show, DirecTV show, or the Halfway House, even the Halfway House a little bit less, but Artie would bust your balls on the air, but in reality, off the air, I know Artie was a sweetheart to you. Of course he was.
I know. It's true because who I really loved on the show, and I wish I would have had a better friendship with him.
Stacy
Gilbert.
Oh, Gilbert. Oh man, R.I.P. Gilbert. Yeah.
Because the thing about him is, when he would come on right before the show came on, he was super quiet, such a total gentleman, really nice, kind of shy.
Yeah.
But polite and a gentleman. Then Gilbert would explode and become Gilbert when he got on air.
He'd turn it on. Yeah. Well, I did hear about that. I heard that the original reason why he had a lot of anxiety of getting on stage, and one of the reasons why he would have his eyes kind of shut a little bit as a caricature, it was because he had so much anxiety to look out in the crowd when he first started doing open mics that he would squint his eyes, and over time it became kind of like, okay, I'm just going to keep doing this because he became comfortable. But he was a legend, and anytime he and Artie got together, it was magic.
Oh, forget about it.
Oh my God, piss your pants, hilarious.
Like when you'd see Gilbert, right? He'd come in. He's always polite to me and shake my hand. I talked to him for a little bit. I didn't want to bother him too much. Yeah. But he's always it was really funny. One of the first couple of times I met him when he came on Artie's TV show. Yeah. I was mentioning movies he was in, The Problem Child.
Oh, yeah.
Aladdin, things like that.
God,
and Artie tried to shush me, right? Oh. And Gilbert goes, no, let him talk. He let me talk about his movies, and it's really cool. You could see Gilbert's face light up that I was enjoying all his work. Yeah,
it's really a shame. This year has been, it was kind of just like the first couple months of this year was so shitty. It was Bob Saget, Louie Anderson, and Gilbert all once.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah. Were you? Yeah. What's that?
And the only one I met out of all of them was Gil, but I always wanted to meet Norm. But I'll
Norm. I didn't say Norm. Was Norm was the end of last year, I think. He passed.
Yeah. I'll pass them across though. That's just,
Yeah, that's so sad, man. He was a legend. And I know Artie loved him, but
I was going to ask you yourself, how long have you been podcasting? I was just curious. I know
you know what? Here's a funny thing, Mike. I started this type format in 2016. This was way early when it started. They had a thing called Google Hangouts, and I did it for like a season. I did like, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 episodes. Then I stopped it because I like to do other kind of comedy. I do characters, improv, sketch, like, stuff in the street, stupid stuff. So then I picked it up again in around 2020, like right before the pandemic. And ironically enough, then the pandemic hit and everybody was doing Zoom shows. So it was funny because I started the show right before the pandemic, and then it just, okay, well, I guess I'm doing this for a while. So I off and on for the past few years. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you were stand-up also?
I've done open mics in Philly before, but not paid gigs, but open mics. Yes. Yeah. I've done open mics.
You should get out there and start doing it.
Yeah, I did. I really want to get back out there again. I haven't since shit opened up again from the pandemic. What advice do you have for
I haven't really been out there myself because of health issues. I have heart disease and chronic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really careful about that. But
yeah,
I know what you're saying. And I did some Zoom comedy shows. They were kind of weird.
You don't get the same kind of energy, same kind of feedback. No. It's a different kind of thing. I remember watching a couple of those, and it's like, I don't know. Plus, you're doing them. I think the problem is the people in the room are other comics, and other comics don't tend to laugh too hard at other comics because they want to make their own shit. They want to make their own shit funny, so they want to.
I was going to talk a little bit about my co-host. She's awesome.
Yeah, tell me about Jenny. I saw her. Jenny, right? Is her name Jenny?
Yeah, I think Jennifer Jenny Springs.
Yeah, I was wondering
we were in acting class together for a couple of years. That's how we met. And she's just like, she's charming. You know what I mean? She's like a sweet person. Mm-hmm. She's like incredible, smart. She's nice, and we have great chemistry. And just she's a huge part of the show. And I can't wait till she does more. We work together more.
Yeah, no, she was great. You guys have a unique kind of chemistry. Watching that last night, it felt like I don't know how to describe it, but it's like I don't know, like a comfortability. Like you guys felt like very at ease. Like I felt very relaxed watching it. Like two old friends or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's wonderful because, and the thing is, like, I only want to surround myself with nice, good people in this because we both know from being in this, it could be a brutal business sometimes. Not everybody's an idiot, but I'll explain my version of this. Yeah. It's like being in the Ides of March and everybody's a Roman senator.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
You just don't want to wind up on a floor like Julius Caesar at the end of the night.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, but I like asking guests about stuff too, because like, are you originally from Philly? I'm from New York my whole life.
Yeah, I'm a South Jersey, Philly area. So like Atlantic City, South Jersey, and Philly.
Oh, nice.
my whole life. So I mean, it's I'm a life. I always wanted to move to the city in New York, but it never panned out. I wanted to get involved in the business, but never did work out. But so in turn, I just to keep that part of me active, I do stuff like this and comedy on YouTube and podcasting. And you got to stay creative. You got to stay.
Oh, absolutely. Because once that creative bone dies, it's horrible. Because
I
got to tell you a funny story about a gig I did in Philly years ago.
Yeah, right? Go ahead. Let's hear it. Yeah.
It was a weird gig. This was almost 20 years ago. It was myself.
Remember? Okay.
John Melendez, when we were talking to each other at the time.
Oh yeah. He's a
John. He booked
us
actually. What do you call it? John Melendez, Artie, Nick DiPaolo, Sal from the Howard Stern Show, myself,
right,
and the late great Otto Peterson, Otto and George.
Oh, Otto, R.I.P. Yeah, sure.
But it's crazy. This was that snowstorm we had about 20 years ago. It was hours, right? We all met up at the Stern Building early in the afternoon.
Yeah,
and it was so crazy because it took us 5 hours to get to Philly because the weather was so bad.
Oh no! So this was early 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like New York to Philly is long. How long we drive? An hour and a half, 2 hours tops.
Right. Without snow, it's like hour and a half, hour 40 minutes. Yeah, something like that.
Tops, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
5 hours. You know what's funny? We had an HBO special, and that cost all this junk we were talking about people and everything else. Because
Yeah.
like, here's what happened. What do you call it? John had like a $40,000 truck, but it was sliding like soap on the ice.
Oh no! Oh shit! We're scared. Yeah.
And what do you call it? But once we were like stuck in the Titanic, you know. Really, you know?
Yeah, probably
But
on
it was
90
funny because
on 95. Yep.
we picked up Otto first, and he was late. He overslept. John kept honking the horn. He went to grab out of his house, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we got in the car. Otto said, "I got to mail something to the post office."
Yeah.
John, you got to fucking. Can I curse? Is that okay to curse?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You got to be fucking kidding me. We got a nor'easter out here. You would go to the goddamn post office. Couldn't wait another day. And then Nick started fucking. We all started, started battling. And Artie, of all people, Artie was the voice of reason. Shit. Really calmed everybody down, right?
Yeah.
And then we get back on the road again, and Otto's goofing on John's driving, and he's starting to get on his nerve. And then some of the wicked stuff we said.
Yeah, right. You can imagine.
Would have come out of the mouth of Stewie from Family Guy. You know?
That bad. And when Artie's the voice of reason, and this is like in the early 2000s, so it was probably when he was working on Stern, right? So yeah. So if he's the voice of reason during that era, yeah, that's an interesting dynamic.
We finally get there, right?
Yeah.
So some of us want to go turn back, but when we get there, and it was at a place. I don't know if it's still in Philly.
Yeah,
called the Electric Factory.
Oh yeah. It's now called Franklin Music Hall, but it's still open. Yeah, it's still.
It's like big music type thing, right?
Yeah, it's a music venue. Yeah.
I never really had done comedy in Philly before, right? And idiots were saying, I like Pennsylvania a lot. I've been all over in Pennsylvania. I've been to Pittsburgh, Lancaster, been to Philly. I love the state itself.
Right.
And idiots were like, "Oh, Philly's rowdy. They're gonna let you guys have it, right?" I'm like, I don't know. I never been there before that much, really, right? I mean, I went on the class trip as a kid, but anyway, we get there, and it's packed with like 1,200 people, and they're all drunk. They're all been waiting hours for us, right? I think there might have been a couple of Mets heads over there. It was really crazy, right?
Yeah, right.
We get up there, right? And what do you call it? They started letting Melendez have it when he got up there to host. Let them boiled, right? And then what do you call it? Otto almost walked out of there in tears. That's how brutal the crowd was. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah. Ooh, they were vicious. Yeah.
I got up there, and somebody yells at me, "Hey, you fat fuck!" Right the minute I get up there, and I go, "You know what I said to them? You know what? I'm fat because every time I fuck your mother, she feeds me sandwiches."
Well, that's what you got to do. You got to give it right back to them. And you know what?
And they enjoyed that, right? Then I do an impression of Joe Pesci in my act, and I ate them up, I let them have it.
They eat it
by the time I got done, I won them over.
Yeah, you got it. They got to see that when they give it to you, you just give it right back to them, and then once you do that, you just then they can tell you're not going to take their shit, and once they know that you can't be pushed around.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because I went from like the normal goofy guy me, turns into like play with them up there.
Oh yeah.
And either one was so good to let that out. I love it. It's like, Bill Burr has a notorious clip of him battling with them over there too, I think.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of there's a video. If you guys at home watching, there's a video on YouTube. Just go to YouTube and type in Bill Burr Bill Burr Philly heckler, I think, and then you'll see the whole video. It's like he is it's a must watch. But Bill Burr's a genius. He knows how to handle in terms of material and crowd work. He's the best in the game right now, as far as I'm concerned.
And he's still a good guy. You know what? If I would have run into him tomorrow, he would still talk to me and hang out with me. That's the kind of guy he still is. Yeah,
no, absolutely. You know who would be a good guest? Speaking of guys in that circle, I mean, I remember you were on Jim and Sam. Maybe Jimmy Norton might want to do the show. You think Jimmy?
I texted them. I'm waiting to hear back from Jim. I would love to have him and Sam on here because I reached out to a couple of people. You know what it is? A lot of them are busy with stuff now. I don't want to hammer them too much.
Oh yeah, I know.
But
Sam.
Who's a really good guy to me? I want to have him on here. Joey Coco Diaz. I love.
Oh yeah. You know what? I think he I think he'd do it, honestly, because I think he would.
Definitely.
I think if you got a direct message to him or somehow got to,
I talked to him and he told me I asked him to be one of my first people. He
yeah.
said, Mike, I love the videos, but I'm going to be filming a movie now. I think we should do a movie someplace.
Yeah.
I reached out to Tom Green. He's been a good guy. You know what I mean? But I'm lucky to have these people as friends, but I'll tell you why I have them, because I don't harass them all the time for stuff.
Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even with Andrew Dice Clay, I'll talk to him every couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
But when I speak to him, I'll say, "Hi, Andrew." I don't even call him Andrew because I call him Dice. You know
Dice,
what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
Hey,
Right.
Dice, how's it going? And he'll get back to me. And I never ask him for anything, really. I just, you know what I mean? And and same thing with Joey and those other guys. And they've helped me with stuff. But see, that's the rule of thumb with me. And it's, if you have friends that have power, just be friends with them, because they need real friends in this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to go the other direction. You're just going to turn
not only
them
that,
off.
you know, if they can help us, they'll be more than happy to if they can. And it's, you know, Ryan, you're in the business, we're in the business, and it's like everybody thinks that, you know, if you know what I mean, you can, you know, even if you like have some kind of, you know, friendship with, say, like Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks you can come up and go, Adam, put me in a movie. You know what I mean? It's not as easy. Not only that, because first of all, even if he was a relative of yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's his movie, okay, he probably has to go through some red tape still. You know what I mean? Because,
yeah.
You know, even if it's his movie, he may not. You know what? He may not even think you have the chemistry with the other actors on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's good.
You just can't stick somebody in a movie. You know what I mean? They may be horrible. It's not a good fit.
Yeah, it's tough, and you deal with a lot of stuff like that. It's tough with people asking you for stuff and everything. We brought up Tom Green. I think
people
he's
would ask me for stuff, and I wish I could help them, but it's like,
yeah.
And you know, what do you call it? People even asked me one time, "Hey man, could you introduce me to Artie one day?" And I'm like, look, look, I don't talk to Artie that much outside the show that much sometimes. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't even bother him for stuff like that.
No, I don't think it's I think he loves you and everything. It's just like, I think for Artie's mental, he didn't give you a reason why the halfway house stopped, right?
And I didn't ask him.
Yeah, I don't blame you for asking him, but in my opinion, I think that Artie is in a good place and he needs to stay mentally in a good place. Oh yeah. So I think that's why
absolutely right.
So I think sometimes that's why he recluses or stays away. It's not personal, and
no, he has to heal himself.
Yeah, and
I'm looking at your background. You got a lot of cool stuff.
Oh yeah, I got all kind of what is this saying? Running out of time. This thing. Let me X out of this thing here. Oh yeah, I got all kind of stuff here. I got some plaques, autographs here on the front of me. You can't see that, but I got all kind of gimmicks back there. But yeah, so we got I don't know why this thing popped up on me. It's all right. But yes, so
I was going to ask you, like,
yeah. Oh, you all right?
On our show, we had comedians. Yeah, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Yeah. It was just breaking up for a minute. It's all right. Sorry. Yeah.
We had comedians and musicians, but we also, on the halfway house, had sports people, which was a good mix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to meet Larry Holmes, and I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
You know what's cool about Larry? He was such a gentle giant. He was really a sweet man.
Yeah.
And I got to ask him a question. You know what I said to him? How terrified were you in the ring? Right? I thought it'd be like, no, man, I was ready to fight.
Yeah.
He goes, extremely terrified. I go, what? I go, you're Larry Holmes, man. I go, you're him. He goes, no. He goes, I don't care who I am. He laughed. Mm-hmm. He goes, you know why? You're some 300-pound guy's ready to rack your skull in.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's
worried about that. He goes, when that bell rings, some animal's going to come at you and freaking kill you almost. That's what he said, right?
Yeah, that's crazy to hear.
I know, but and another cool thing about him was, right?
Yeah.
He didn't want to fight Muhammad Ali.
Oh, really? He told you that? Yeah.
We asked him why. He goes, first of all, we were very close friends, and I trained with him for years.
Right. Yeah. He
goes, and I didn't want to hurt my friend. And he goes, not only that, he goes, it wasn't fair to Muhammad Ali. We go, why? Because he knew how I fought as a fighter more than anybody did. and he knew my brain, how it worked mentally, fighting wise, my strategies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's it, because I said to him, "Did you ever want to fight George Foreman?" And he was laughing. He goes, "Yeah, we'll be selling some more grills when we get done."
Yeah, those were days. I think we could watch all that. That episode you probably pull up somewhere, maybe on YouTube or something.
Definitely,
definitely watch that. Yeah,
but he was such a gentleman. It's like, you know, it's. I mean, I'd like to get music for people, and I want to vary it. You know what I mean? Because like,
right, yeah,
people that I like that are interesting, and I know, like you said, it's. I wish we had like Martin Scorsese's Rolodex. You know what I mean?
And that's tough. And that's tough too, because you got to. I mean, well, I don't know. We were talking off the air how tough it is to book guests, and you know what I've been relying on is just DMing people, and I hate doing it sometimes, but you know, if their messages or email or DM on social media, sometimes people will respond, sometimes people respond, sometimes they won't, but it's tough. It really is.
You got to try.
It's a grind, but you got to try it. You can, because you never know. You never know when you know. But yeah, you just got to keep doing it. And I think, you know, where can we find it? Your show's only on YouTube, right? Or is it on somewhere else?
Right now it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm going to be activating for Patron. I just got to wait a little more.
Yeah.
And I know it's on Apple, all the things like that, Spotify, Apple.
Yeah.
And that, but I just want to thank you again. Jenny, she's doing great. You can see her online as well, Jenny Springs. And I'm having fun with you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a good time. Now, before I forget, Mike, because my viewers, I got a lot of Bocchetti fans that are viewers, and they're going to be they're going to be pissed at me. They're gonna kick my face. I hope not, but I think they're going to be pretty pissed at me if I don't ask you. Mike, what is the weather outside today?
Oh, cool. Oh, I'll give you a good one. What do you call it? Right now, it isn't so sunny in Philadelphia. It's 117 degrees.
Okay.
What do you call it? And that's that with Philly. Right now in Nome, Alaska, it's 117 degrees. Eagles are going for half price, so get them while you can. Staten Island, New York, my own hometown. I have no idea what the weather is. I haven't got out of the house since the pandemic started. Oh, now I'm international, Brian. What do you call it? The weather in Rome, Italy, 3 degrees, 300-mile-an-hour winds, and the Leaning Tower pizza isn't leaning anymore. It's a pancake.
Love it, Mike. Love it. Love the weather.
I'm going to be doing that segment, but it's going to be different doing it in my house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little different. You got, you know, people today. We got about 5 minutes left on this class.
Okay.
Thing. Yeah, but a lot of people today do this, and in the old days you do a green screen. You don't even need the green screen anymore. They just have this filter where you can put a background to make it look like you're outside or make it look like you're somewhere.
Oh, it's awesome because I can make it look like I'm what do you call it, boxing Joe Pesci?
yeah, or put a face on you. I know I got a Jeff Richards does it. Jeff Richards used to be on SNL.
Oh, he's nice. You know what? I met him on Artie's show.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy.
Cool. He's great at impressions. A nice guy. I love him.
He had a genius idea. He does these things called deep fakes where he'll do his impression, filming himself doing it, but then he'll superimpose like the face of the guy.
Whoa, that is brilliant.
Yeah, so he'll do like he used to, well, before he passed away, he used to do Louie.
He died?
No, Louie. We used to, I'm sorry.
Fuck. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. But no, Jeff's alive. But he used to do Louie's impression. He would have his face on there, and Louie loved him too. He was hilarious. But Jeff is hilarious. And
oh, you remember one of Louie's jokes? He goes, "My father never hit us. He carried a gun."
Oh yeah. Then he do that. Right up to, Louie was one of my favorites, and I did a tribute to him when he passed away. And
nice.
You might not know this, Mike, but his nephew, Josh Florog, I had him on the show. He's one of my last guests I had earlier this year before I had the layoff of the talk show. He is a stand-up comic, and Louie kind of got him in the business before he passed away. So he's in Minnesota, I think, still is from the same area. And
nice.
LA. He was originally from Minnesota. He's in LA, but his name is Josh Florog. He's a super nice kid. And if you ever see him online, definitely, because
do me a favor. Could you send him my? Are you in touch with him or not?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can send it to him. Yeah,
do
sure.
Me a favor. I love Louie. I'd love to pick his brain about him because
I'm gonna send it after we get done. I'm gonna send him the.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk to him because you know what's crazy. Kevin Meaney. I loved him. I met him a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
And know it's really ironic, right? I met
Yeah.
his daughter about a month ago, a month before he died. I was outside at the Comedy Cellar.
Yeah.
She goes, I know you from the Artie Lange show. I go, who are you? She goes, I'm so and so, and she mentioned his name, right? I go, wait a minute, Meanie? She goes, yeah, he's my dad.
Yeah.
Right. So you know what happened? One sad thing about Kevin was we were supposed to do a show together at Caroline's years ago. I was so excited about working with him up there.
Right.
And there was no show. It was booked on a Wednesday night. He had no audience, right?
Yeah.
So he was such a good guy about it. He turned and looked around and said to me, "That's not right."
How I did the whole gimmick, yeah.
But he was such a nice guy.
I can't imagine.
You know, I couldn't believe how ironic that was. I met his daughter about a month before he died. How crazy is that?
That is insane. Yeah, how crazy life is sometimes. But Mike, we got to get out of here real soon.
Okay, but thank you, Ryan. This is so much fun.
Listen, thanks for coming on the show. I want you to
I appreciate it. And like I said, introduce me, you know, Louie, it's just.
I'm going to send you that. I'm going to DM you Josh's stuff. You had him on social media.
Oh, speaking of that, you know who we had on Artie's show? Kevin Farley's brother.
Oh,
as well.
Yeah. Chris Farley's brother, Kevin, right?
Chris Farley. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Kevin was awesome because before we got him on, he got there early, and I said to him quickly, I said, you know, I loved your brother. I don't want to make this a crybaby fest about him. You know what I mean, right?
I love Chris, yeah.
And you know what he said? He goes, no. He goes, I'm honored you even want to talk about my brother. You know what I mean? I'm like, sure. How could we not, you know, I mean, we don't want to overshadow him with you, but we love him, you know, to this day.
Yeah, no, I love Chris, and we love, most of all, Mike Bocchetti. So, Mike,
thank you, Ryan. It was so nice to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put the link in the description of all your
nice.
contacts and everything, and then your social media and everything.
I will definitely talk to you soon. Thank you for having me.
You too, and shout out to everybody watching this. Shout out to Jenny, Artie, everybody. Love you all. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right, guys. Cheers. Take care.